Yeah, against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
Are we live? Of course we are. People deluded. I'm back again. Big up you lot on Twitch. Big up you lot on YouTube. Please make sure you're smashing the like button. Again, we've now been linked with Mathys Tell Money as I call him, due to his struggles for game time at Bayern Munich. We're still linked with the John Durans and Vlahovic's. I know, people. It's 100% nonsense. And apparently Mikel Arteta has said we're going to go strong today against Girona. Now, I hear that. You want to build some momentum going into City, which we got to remember on Sunday we are playing City. My caveat to that is, people, before that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. My caveat towards that is we can't really make changes, can we? We don't have the playing squad available, whether that's due to not signing people in January, and I'm getting a bit nervous, the 29th of January, or obviously injuries, people. So, yeah, for me, we're going to get into Mathys Tell, man. You lot that have been following me for a while, you know that I've been singing this man's praises. He's French. We have a rich history of French players and French attackers. Long term, he's a number 9. In the intermediate, he could help on the right-hand side. His bread and butter would be off that left. If there is a small opportunity of signing him, I'm all for that. Now, naturally, Chelsea have been trying to get him. Man United have been linked with him. If I was Bayern Munich, I'd be trying to sweeten him up and tell him to go on loan, maybe for what's left of this season, maybe even potential next year, and then bring him back in, people. So, yeah, we need to get something done. And Arsenal, I'd have him in any capacity. But what I would say is we need to be patterning an obligation or an option to buy. Like, that man is absolute mustard. Big up you lot on Twitch. You remember a few years ago when we was doing the under-17s Euros watch-alongs. He was the star of the show. Comes from Renzi's academy. It's a great academy. There's probably more players around that's come out now, but, the same academy that brought on Dembele, Camavinga, Duran, who's obviously at PSG now, so on and so forth, people. And we all know there's something crazy in the water in France normally, but definitely, you know what? It's probably the last 10 years now. I was going to say 5, but there's been Dons and Arsenal. We need to go and get them, man. Like, we were the hub for French football. We'll be here all day talking about Wenger, Henry, Anelka, Petit, etc., etc., etc. It's mad they haven't done anything yet. The only thing I would say is we're not a fly on the wall at London Coley, so we don't know what they're trying to do, and we have to have small hope. But as an ignorant fan and a naive fan like yourself, Johnny, for me, yeah, man, to not see any players rolled in, to not hear anything about bidding, to obviously see other teams make movements, and not that we care about them making movements, to know that nothing at this moment in time is forthcoming at Arsenal, it's annoying. Like, you could tell me all about Sesko in the summers and to your blue in the face, and look at my skin color be all day. You could do the same about Isaac. You could do the same about Zubamendi, which has still not confirmed. We need players right now. We need something right now to boost this squad and have more playing options, even the more durable players. Declan Rice has had a broken toe this season. I don't really want to get into Kai Havertz shouts, but what I would say, he's one of the more durable players. He's missed out through illness, yes, but technically one of the more durable players. He looks spent. He looks like he needs a rest. I'll be real. He looks like he needs a rest. You all saw him go down at the end of the Wolves game, and he did look a bit leggy, man. So, yeah, for me, I don't think it's sustainable from January till May with the level of playing squad we've got. I know players are coming back from injury and all of those kind of things, but you get the point, man. DG, what's the point of finishing second in the Champions League format if we're going to face Liverpool? I've got a tab police. I've got bare tabs. I actually don't know how it works for the next round. I know that it would take a lot for us not to qualify. We're essentially through. We've done okay in the Champions League, man. A bit disappointed we couldn't have a memorable night against Inter Milan, but it is what it is. They got a Bandulu penalty. I was very disappointed in the performance against Atalanta, but we got away with that. Done what we needed to do against PSG. And after that, we've been doing our thing. And to be fair, I actually feel the Champions League's been a bit more enjoyable. Of course, there's still big teams. You look at Liverpool, they're flying in the Premier League and in the Champs. And again, we're now getting into that stage now where it's decided by moments. I don't think we were necessarily the worst team across 2 legs against Bayern Munich last season, but fundamentally, they had players that had that X factor They went through, we're out. We're obviously not Real Madrid, but how many times have you seen Real Madrid win the Champions League? And I would say maybe in the finals a different debate, but where you look at the quarters, the semis, etc., they haven't been the best side, you know, for the 90 minutes or 180 minutes. It's the minute Carlo's done that, all of the defenders, the strikers, everybody's just knowing that something's going to happen. I'd love to win the Champions League. And to be honest with you, it's looking like another silverware-less season. We hope that we come from behind against Newcastle. I think we're playing next week against them, but we're down in that. Obviously, we're out the FA Cup. The Premier League, all we can do is just keep it a talking point and hope that A, Liverpool slip up, but B, as we've seen a couple of times this season, the rare times they've slipped up, we've also slipped up. So, yeah, man, I think we need a boost. I think we need it. I think we're paying for our sins of what we did or didn't do in the summer. And it makes me not necessarily, I've got questions for Arteta, but for me, in terms of his pursuit of trophies, I think his heart is in the right place. It's more of how you're going about it. The ones at the top, I personally, and I was having this discussion with one of my Liverpool supporting friends, I think for the American owners, and I'm not trying to get into all of that, I think the Cronkies would like it to be like what you have with FFG at Liverpool, in that I don't want to make out that Liverpool have no money, but Klopp did provide some miracles, you know, and it did seem like, above all, he got frustrated that the investment. You look at what they're doing this season, they've given Onslaught no real summer, 3 players, obviously, 3 key players out of contract. I don't know for Liverpool fans, but I'd say that's not a wider discussion in the footballing community because Slot is flying. And again, look at that. FFG have won trophies with Klopp. They haven't won the war against City, but they've shown it's been done. Slot at this moment in time, it's like there's a good chance of some sort of silverware. I think that's what the Cronkies want, because obviously us as naive fans, and just speaking for myself, 2 points off City, talking about when we went out of Bayern Munich, we need players with X factor. We need to capitalize on the small margins. Obviously, we need bodies. But in terms of Arsenal's strongest 11, please make sure you're smashing the like button. You could make a case of 2 to 3 players and we're lit. You get that striker, you get that left winger, you get another centre mid. Bearing in mind, once again, we finished 2 points off City. And then you look at the transfer window we had, it weren't really, I don't think Calafiori's a bad player. I don't think Moreno is a level raiser, but I think he's cool for the squad. Sterling and Neto, it is what it is. That weren't the summer that made you sit there and think, rah, we're going to push in the champs. We're, after 2 tries of being so close, but so far missing out even in the last year, on the last day of the season, we're going to go further. So obviously, we had a clean run with injuries last season, relatively, bearing in mind Timber ACL, Tommy Asu was a no-show, and we missed Thomas Partey. So I don't think we counted our blessings and future-proofed ourselves going into this season. And we're paying for that, if I'm honest. And it is what it is in that regards. And it's frustrating that we're flirting, but we're not there. No signings yet, G-Star. Big up DG. From what you know about Mathys Tel, do you think he would fit what Arteta wants? Yes, he's young. He's impressionable. He'll obviously have to learn 1-2 things. I think he's got the swagger. I think he's got the X factor. I think his technical level's there. I think he's very good at running at players. I think he's very composed in front of goal. Of course, he's a young player. You lot know I've been gassing him. Like, and it ain't happened. And it's essentially just rumours. But I'm on this, even in some of the videos in January. You keep hearing me say Ryan Cherky, Matthias Tell. It's not because I know anything, but it's like when you're just looking at the rumblings that tell you're not playing at Bayern, is that something we could do? Even the same logic applies to Ferguson of Brighton, but it's fair to say we're not involved in that one, man. We need a sister club like City have with Girona, with Cess and Omri doing work at Como. That sounds like a great marketing opportunity for the Gunners. Cess is doing his thing over there. You know, Arteta has said we need the multi-club thing. That allegedly one of the reasons Edu Cup was because of that. I'm all for that, man. Like I'm all for that, because that helps you get around work permits. That obviously helps you, you know, if you got a young, exciting player in South America who you think could break into Arsenal. Right now, he's not able to get a work permit. We used to kind of do this stuff with Wellington Silva, Pedro Buffalo, Samuel Galindo, Joel Campbell slyly, even down to the Colos and whatnot when we had the link from Ivory Coast to Belgium, right? But yeah, you could get a player in, he don't quite get a work permit. Once he does, Bob's your uncle, Arteta use him. Likewise, you might find a player from South America that's good. You have him for a couple of years. He might not break into the first team. And I'm exaggerating a bit, of course, but you got a man for, I don't know, 5 million. You got to sell him for 45. That's reinvested in however you want to reinvest. We keep it moving, because it's not, we're not always going to, I do think to a degree we're getting at that point now where if they're saying, like, Newcastle are not going to sell Isaac, but if they're saying 100, 120 million, boom, in the same way with Declan Rice, right? But if we're not going to do that, like if our owner isn't going to do that, then we have to finance the fund somewhere, and that could help really. And I also feel we need to do better at selling hay lenders. You know, I can count on one hand how many have gone for decent money. Now we know it didn't, the way it ended up with Smith Rowe is not how we wanted, but Smith Rowe went for something decent. Eddie went for something decent, 2 years too late, in my opinion. Nelson's still on the books. We need Balogun was decent. We need to keep doing that. DG Rashford is not the answer. 100% he's not. 100% he's not, man. If I don't know if I want tell, haven't seen enough of him. Is he a bagsman? He could be all of that. Trust me, man. You know I never put my neck on the line for many people. Trust me. I'm not making out that he's gonna turn water to wine and that, but trust me, you lot will fall in love with him. Even wears the Suarez thing as well. Trust me, he's the guy. One love for the super chat, my dude, man. Big up DG from what you know about Tell. Do you think he fits what Arteta wants? I think I covered that, but I do. He's young, he's impressionable, he wants to play. I think it's the guy. And I don't feel right now he's ready to lead the line on a consistent basis for a team like Arsenal or Bayern. But long term, that man's a 9. And right now, you could help us on the left. I've just been waffling about Kai looks a bit tired. You come in there. Obviously, he's not really playing. He'd have to adapt to not only what Arteta wants mid-season, but the Premier League. So there is a bit of a discount. We all know, like, January is a difficult time for players to adapt. But I'm having him, man. The new format keeps every game fresh. I love it. I must admit, I was quite critical, but yeah, DG 3 times in a row we're runners up in the league. It's not confirmed that we're even runners up this year, but I hear it. So close, but so far, man. Like, it's like me, for some of you that are girls, big up you lot, but it's like it's like going to a club, you see the woman of your dreams, she's looking in you at your eyes, your vibes, in your this, your that, you're the third, she's taking your details, you think you could have a future, she's like, do you want to go back to my place? Going back to the place, you're getting touchy-feely, you're kissing, she's taking off your boxes, she's saying, have you got a Jimmy? I'm not really with that bareback king, but she's saying, get the condom. You're thinking it's time now, I'm about to do this thing. You can't get it up. It's all that. Unfortunately, Arsenal. It's a lot of foreplay, no penetration, man. And it is a bit. Last season was a very bitter blow for me and a bitter pill, really, because the first year didn't really expect it. Last year, like there was still a chance on the last day of the season. Obviously, variables were out of our control, but there was still a chance, which it jars me, man. And like I said, I think Arteta wants to win a league. I do think he needs to check himself in certain things he's doing, like how he's assembled the squad, how he's spent the limited quote unquote funds he's had, you know, taking squad players and making them first team players. It's more for me and capitalizing on your own fine margins now, because we're a good team. But we've missed out we went out of the Champions League by minimal moments. We didn't win the league last year by minimal moments. Now, granted, in 2022-23, and again, that's why I don't think I think the Cronkies are happy. Oh, Arteta, back in the Champions League, we're doing this, we're doing that. I don't think they want to be winners, if I'm honest with you. Like, we're so close, man. Like, no, I think there's plenty of negatives around Arsenal, but likewise, I think there's plenty of positives, man. I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but it's where you go from it. And I said in the summer, and some of you lot got onto me, with the 2 seasons we've had, going into this season, it's like you're either going to make massive progress or you're going to go down a bit. And even saying that, mathematically, there's been improvements, but we're still talking about the same thing. So we need to build, man. I don't think we're winning any trophies. I think it's another one of using hindsight and whatnot. And even going back to completely off topic here, but I was having this debate with one of my friends. Like, I'm not necessarily talking about the ability of a player, right? But we're not going to get John Duran, but we've been linked with Duran, right? We've been linked with Duran. They're saying 70, 80. Sesko, you're seeing everything from 60, 70, 80. We all know Isaac is 100-odd million quid. Half of these guys is a Gyökeres release clause. Even seeing rumours, somebody's bidded, not us, but somebody's bidded for Osimhen for 60-odd. That's the going rate for these strikers now, really, unless you're going to do the smart thing. You find Adebayor when he's at Monaco, or you find Omri when he's at Juventus down on his luck, or we've got an Arsene Wenger that can find us a Nelka and all of these kind of things. Definitely someone needs to be massive. It does, but I can't lie, man. It feels like we're living the same life on repeat, man. Like we're doing the same things again and again. You lot are violating though, man. 30 likes. There's 200 of you in here. Pay your rent, man. It's free. Big up to you lot who have hit the like button. But we do need a massive summer. But it feels like it's that again. We're going to the season with optimism, still playing for stuff, get close, but not quite as close as we need to start talking about next season. And that seemed to have been the case. And even if you extend what I said about the strikers to whether you want these guys or not, right? The Cunhas, the Kuduses, once these players get into certain clubs or at certain places, it's the going rate. Some of you sit here and say we should get Semenyo from Bournemouth. That's at least a 50 million to get the conversation started. So, yeah, it's either we pay the rate or half of the guys that are consistently linked with us, we cop them before it becomes this kind of thing, if that makes sense. I haven't watched Mathys Tell, but all I know is he's a high talent, meaning if Arsenal is serious and really want him, then we should end up signing him. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and make out that Chelsea isn't a big club and there isn't reasons to sign for Chelsea. But Chelsea have been on to you. They got bare players, you know. Look how they did your broski, look how they did your broski and Konku. Look what they did to Chalobah. We don't behave like that. We got class here. And again, if you're just, not that you'd be listening to my live stream. They've got more attackers than they can count. They just bought João Felix and he can't play. We've hardly got any players. Unfortunately, Saka is injured. Gabriel Jesus is injured. What, you telling me you're scared of Kai Havertz? You're scared of Trossard? You're scared of Martinelli on that left-hand side? Sign for us, my brother. Please, trust me. Trust me. You should never trust a man or woman that says trust me, but trust me, bro. Trust me. Sign for us. I don't know why I'm getting excited because there's no concrete, real evidence, but I'm on this. DG, are we lacking financially? I wouldn't say so, but again, I've never seen our accountancy. There's doing everything in silence, what is annoying as a fan. But if they end up signing a player and he helps us win trophies, that's all I care about, which is facts. But the last sentence you said that there, we need to win. And I must admit, going back to what I said about the trophies, yeah, I'm a hypocrite because in 2022-23, I didn't believe we could do it. But I did say, and I did believe at the time, if we don't win the league that year, we're never going to do it. Last year, I said the same thing. And I actually strongly I hope to God I'm wrong, people. Smash the like button if you want me to be wrong. Smash the like button if you're a pagan and you want me to be right. It did feel like last year that was the chance. And then this year, it would be magical if Liverpool fall off, we get our form together in spite of injuries and the whole Lewis Skelly thing and all of the injustices. We go to St. Mary's, which on paper isn't one of the harder games in the Prem, but for us, we all know Southampton away, it can go left. Even in the 2022-23 season, that was on. And then we've got Liverpool around there, really. And for fans that are older than me, you've seen when our football club won the league at Anfield. So it'd be interesting. It'd be lovely for City to go out the Champions League today and us to smash them. I want to smash City in on Sunday, people. I'm going off topic. Nothing but respect for their owners, what they're doing as a club, Pep Guardiola, all the coaching stuff. You see your players, the key ones, when you think of City, you see all of them that were doing too much after the game in terms of on the pitch and obviously with the talking in the press. Bernardo Silva, I want your head on a spike. Haaland, I want you demolished in that game, all from a footballing perspective. Gabriel, he threw the ball at you. He threw a rock and hit his hand. Now he's going to have to see you walk on. I'm on to them. Like, I need them to get smashed in. Like, again, I shouldn't even be talking like that with City. But yeah, if we get relegated, do you think that means no Sesko? What? We ain't getting relegated, but that's you might be in the wrong stream, my brother. You got to go to the Spurs content creators over them sides, man. Trust me, bro. I know. I've definitely missed a lot. But I'd like to think when it comes to this YouTube thing and the talent ID, so for those of you that have been following me long enough, you know what my thing is authentic. Whether it's the Hayland players coming through and everyone's gassing up certain players and I'm saying, yo, listen, it's not that thing, or people are not talking about them, and I am. And these players, I can't watch everyone everywhere, but when I do talk, I'm coming from a place of what I genuinely feel, people. You'll never hear me sit here and, unless I mean it, man's generational talent and he's this and he's that and he's the third, people. Tells an attacking body that this team needs can cover all three attacking spots. DG, we haven't replaced Aubameyang and Nketiah. That's so irresponsible. Eddie, you know. You could argue that Kai could do the Eddie thing, but we ain't replaced Aubameyang. It's weird, yeah, because again, I was speaking with my friend a few days ago about this. I'm always speaking to my friends, aren't I? Aubameyang on that left, I think Aubameyang plays off the left. If Aubameyang were just here and, you know, we assume Kai Havertz and Aubameyang are here, I think Arteta would have played Aubameyang off that left and Kai Havertz through the middle. And obviously, I want to see Aubameyang play through the middle. But when you deep it, it's our wide players that if anyone gets freedom in an attacking sense, it's the inside forwards. It's not really the striker. Don't get twisted. You still get in the box and all of that jazz. But you get where I'm going, man. Mathys Tell is a market opportunity Arteta was talking about. Hey, big up UCD. Like he said, market opportunity. Go and take advantage. We know January is a reactive window. Now there's for a player that might not have been available has become available, react because of the injuries and us really and truly knowing that when everybody's fit, if the whole team is fit, we still reckon we're short. We still reckon we're two players short in an attacking sense. go and do that. And that's not us trying to catch Mikel Arteta out. But ultimately, when you're talking about market opportunities, when you're talking about maximizing markets, when at the beginning and end of 2024, you said we've got one of the smallest squads, Mikel Arteta and everybody else involved make a difference. You know, we did hear at the beginning of January that the club wanted a more experienced technical director in place of Jason Ito. In the last few weeks, we've heard that while we haven't seen what he's doing, you know, we've heard that he's doing all the media saying he's doing all right. They're starting to be convinced. Jason, if you sign Mathys, I promise you I'll run the biggest of PRs. If you get the Zubamendi one for the summer, if you make sure we're getting the Isaacs and the Seskos, most importantly as well, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saka, Saliba all need new contracts. And it's a madness that we ain't got a confirmed sporting director, you know. Mazzolini, man. Who knows, man? Fabio Vieira might get a recall. Hey, brother, I think you called it from time ago. No, you had a video 7 months ago wanting Tell. I think Tell now Sesko is at Gyökeres in that order of interest in the summer and then shifting Tell. Now, I can't lie to you. I did. Tell has to stay, bro. Tell has to stay. Trust me. Get your striker. Tell. I don't know for the other attackers. Obviously, you know, big up Gabriel Jesus. I hope he stays fit. Our man's 19, bro. If you get his... Obviously, we're just talking in hypotheticals, right? Sesko is in his early 20s. Isaac's in his mid-20s. My man Tell is 19. Saka's about... It feels like Saka's got the experience of a 50-year-old, but Saka's in his early... Well, not even early. He's in like 23, 24. I won't quite go as far as to say that's your attack sorted, but it kind of is. Obviously, no one wants to hear it, but Kai's still going to be here. He's about. And also you could throw Martinelli in there, where you look at Trossard. It's not an ageist thing, but Trossard, I don't know if the club are going to give you the length and the terms of the contract you want. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus is still an issue. Obviously, with his ACL, I don't know how and if the club actually want to get rid of him. So I have to see. Forcing it because he's here on loan, but you've got a 30-year-old Sterling. And I'm not one of them fans that does all that, oh, they're 28, 29, get rid of them. Like, if Salah was dumb enough to say, I want to sign for Arsenal, tomorrow I'm having that. So you get the point. What have you said with Sesko is at Gyökeres in that order? You know what? For me, I'm not going to lie. I swap Sesko and Isaac. I think Isaac is the one for me. He's a dream, innit? Whether we're going to find £100 million to put the bread down and get him, he's a completely another entity. But he's the one for me. I like Sesko. I think he's a bit raw. I'm not saying he's going to be this, that, and the other. I do think within the Arsenal fan base, he divides opinions. Some love him. Some think he's not good enough. I do think he's one that not necessarily is going to be world-class or whatever. But if not just Arsenal, but if you're talking about your club signing a striker 2 years from now, I think everybody would be on him. And what I would say, everyone would have Isaac here, right? There was a time where people would and ah about Isaac. And with Isaac and Sesko, again, Arteta has never told me he likes them. But when we look at the more credible journalists, the Romanos, the Artetas, man said Arteta, the David Ornsteins, the Athletic, they keep saying the club like Sesko, the club like Isaac. So it's fair to say there's some concrete level of wanting them, right? Gyökeres, I don't think they're keen on him. I think he's a good player. I don't think he'd score as many goals as he's doing in Portugal, just because I think Portuguese League Prem, there's a bit of exchange rate. But he showed me enough for me to believe you could get 20 goals in the league. I think you affect the game without scoring. Obviously, you've got a release clause. So if we talk to you and you're on it, you've got a release clause, make it happen. I do think we'd only go for Gyökeres if for some reason or another, Sesko's off the table, Isaac's off the table, and then keep it going from there. Big up, Ye, always great, boy. Big up you, man. Make sure you're following Fam Zone TV because we was all like watching these speak as well. Big up, DG. Martinelli's career at risk at Arsenal if Tell comes in. Bro, everyone's career. Bro, you play for Arsenal Football Club, you know. We're not Real Madrid. But Vinicius was the guy. You're hearing Mbappe's coming. If you're good enough, you will play games and do what you want to do. Like, nobody's has any divine right. I'm not saying you're saying this, but there were some fans, as much as there's some of you, and you're allowed to change your mind. Some of you were saying, let's be honest, some of you were saying foolishness in the summer. Let's not sign a striker because Kai Havertz is there. He got 14 goals. And I tried to tell you, look, Kai can be part of this. He doesn't necessarily lose his spot. He done it for half a year. And you can't wholeheartedly say, my man is going to score them goals next season. Some of you are falling for it. We need depth. You know, when it's the first couple of games in the season and really it's one game a week, you know, people were doing it. Oh, my God, it's the end of Ben White. Timber's there. You see, once you get to the October-ish to now, where 3 games in 10 days, and because this will be the same thing next year, this is where you need a squad. And your career should always be at risk. You're at Arsenal. You're at one of the pinnacles of football. Make sure you keep yourself there. And man, get demoted, bro. At the end of the day, if Martinelli's not doing what he's doing in 2022, 23, find someone who can do that and better. If you can get your spot back, you can get your spot back. If not, it's peak for you. Crazy analogy. Just being foolish for you. Gotta give you a lot of knowledge, pause, and entertainment, man. Delusion. You're 100% true. Kroenke is not a serial winger. Wenger came second place 3 times in a row in the late 90s. I mean, I'm not going to lie. 1999, yeah, will always stay with me because I do maintain that I think it's Arsenal's fault that Man United won the treble, if I'm honest. Sesko will tell. I think that's a conversation really to have in the next 3-4 years when I do think Tell Money, as I call him, Mathys Tell, is an out-and-out striker. But I think they address 2 different areas. And again, as great as Saka is, he's not the finished article. Sesko can get better. Tell can get better. Bro, imagine that. Imagine that. And I hate to be all of that guy and all that stuff, but resale value, all that jazz. Go and get Sesko, or you're not serious. You know we're not getting Sesko at this moment in time, man. Buying someone who has 0 goals as a striker this season is abysmal. Kroenke will not behave like this. If his American football is not winning things, he would pump money into it. It is what it is. Tell gives us much pace we lack and can play across the front 3. Will give us good push for the rest of the season. DG, cool work rate, G, but I'm scared. It's like we won't get a forward signed. And trust me, if we don't, it's done for us this season. I guess Mikel can't do anything at the moment too. So sad for real. My brother, if I'll be real, if I don't see a versatile guy that can play up front or on the flanks, if I don't see an inside forward and or a striker or one of the 3, or like I've said 3 different things, I think it's peak. I think it's peak. And what I would say is I do think, like, with the injuries and all of that sort of stuff, surely Mikel Arteta, the Kroenkes, whoever is in charge or has a say, they can't look at this and think it's sustainable. But then I think back, now things can change. But do you remember when we missed out against Spurs for the top 4? We missed out on top 4. The club looked a lot darker then than it does now. So if you was prepared to not sign anyone then, if it looks a bit more rosier, regardless of what you or I think, it is what it is. I don't think we've got bodies because now man have to use the academy players. Big up Sego Jr., Nathan, who made his debut, all of them. But it's even unfair expecting them to do anything. And then on top of that, I'm not even trying to be negative. Raheem Sterling is looking dark. Like, it's looking dark. It's been dark. It's looking very dark. Trossard's been finding his feet, but we all know Trossard ain't the guy like that. He's a good squad player. Martinelli, I think he's closing in on equalizing his goal scoring tally for last season, which tells you everything. And we'll be here all day talking about him. Gabriel Jesus had issues of his own. We wish him the best on his recovery, but he's a non-factor at the moment. Saka could come back in April, March, whenever. The season could be done there. And also, just because he signed off fit doesn't mean he's ready. You're going to need him to get back up to speed and whatnot. And this is all assuming nobody else gets injured, which we're seeing red cards being given that shouldn't be given. People are getting colds. People are getting injured in training. We've been dealing with injuries from game week 1 to game week, what are we in now? 21, 22, 23, admittedly. I don't know, man. I don't know. Big up, DG. Would you take Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord for 50 million? I could be wrong. If he signed for the football club, I'll give him a chance. I don't rate him like that, you know. He's going AC Milan, which, again, I've told you, some bookie players go Serie A and start bagging. I'm not saying he's bad. He's not the guy for me. He's not the guy for me. But I'll change my opinion if we grab him and obviously he proves me wrong. More often than not, minimum to get a potentially good player nowadays is 50. Exactly. So it's like, I don't get twisted. We have to find value. You have to, I like in theory how we move. Like we're very careful, but to a degree, you have to adapt. This is the game now. 50 million. It sounds mad. 50 million don't even go much. We had to, and Ben White's been great for us. We had to pay 50 million for Benjamin White off the back of 1 Premier League season. Declan Rice cost, and again, I think we've got a lot of problems. Declan Rice isn't one of them, and admittedly, people, I still prefer him as a 6, but I can't lie, and I still maintain everything I said about Declan as an 8, but I'm changing my tune. But that's the going rate. You can't bully Premier League teams now. Everybody's obviously can sign players, but you can't bully no one now. The early 2000s, 90s, assuming that what we're seeing now was then, Brighton, what? Caicedo, this one, that one, safe. We're grabbing them. Like Sir Alex Ferguson could not do in terms of taking the best of the rest. He probably couldn't. No manager could really. You couldn't do that nowadays in this day and age. Everyone's got peas. I always say it. I'm sure Bournemouth had Zanolio at one point, or correct me if I'm wrong, they went with him. They were going toe-to-toe with AC Milan. Foreign clubs know Premier League teams got peas. And we're getting, well, not us, but we're getting richer. Everyone else is getting poorer. And the smaller teams got bread. And you see, if you're like a little Brighton where, you know, you're selling players for a profit, your scouting network's A1, you're getting great cash reserves. So the more money you make off the Caicedos, the Ben Whites, Cucurellas, the McAllister was only 35 million, but it's probably significant profit. You're not pushed to sell unless you get relegated and whatnot. So it's techie, man. Today's day and age. Is he any good? I think he is. DG needs a cut if we sign Tell. He's got the receipts. Come on. I know nothing about this Tell guy. We're just getting desperate for someone. I can't speak for no one, but I fuck with him. John Duran is a red flag, and the journalists like Ornstein are not mentioning the real reason. Duran is available in the January market. I'm conflicted on Duran because I like him, but you know me, I listen to what you lot are saying, and a lot of you have dropped a number of good points that's made me think, am I overrating Duran? Because really, I might be getting excited off the bangers, and I don't think his general play is amazing, but I think it's suitable. He's 21 as well. There's just something to like about him, even though it looks like he might be cutting out and going to Saudi. And even though, you know, I don't like to do that logic of, oh, you're not starting ahead of my man, so you can't be good kind of thing, right? But he started 4 times in the Premier League for all of the great goals he scored and saving the day. And I'm sure Emery wants to hold on to him because you got 2 good strikers there. If you're like, are you really worth 70, 80? I know I sound like a hypocrite after the previous point I made, but are you really worth that? Now, again, he's 21, and you could argue that Ollie Watkins at 21 weren't really the guy. You know, for me, I always think strikers and centre-backs kind of peak late. Big up D. Make sure you're following FamZone TV. But I said this point, and then rightly so, he mentioned R9. He mentioned Michael Owen, Rooney. For me, I believe them and there are exceptions to the rules. Typically, the strikers peak late. Is that when Dortmund, it didn't bang? Sociedad bought him for 10 mil. People, including myself, I always liked but I was umming and ahhing. I wasn't sure. If you ask me now, of course. But Newcastle thought, yo, he's worth 80 million. They're laughing now. Half of the guys that we're not necessarily speaking about now that are at clubs that we don't know about, we're going to be waffling about them in the summer and beyond. So we need to kind of be a bit proactive. Arsenal fans have yet to catch up with the modern footballing economy. But that's us, though. As a club, we've always done the kind of like going against the grain kind of thing. 80 likes, you lot are boying it, man. You lot are boying it. If you've hit the like button, one love, you lot are boying it. Big up DG, your consistency is inspiring. Jerome, I appreciate that. I told you lot, man, I let you lot down last year, not getting subscribe if you're not. I let you lot down, man. I don't think I'll ever forget how I felt on New Year's Eve, before I went out. Obviously, I had my goals for 2024 and I crossed off bare of them. I felt happy. And then I looked at the last one. It said 70K. I felt sad. Like, you see in the dance when it goes to, you know, when you do the midnight thing, like everybody's counting down a Happy New Year. Obviously, I did that. But it's like everyone's dancing. Bro, there's nice gal around, man, you know. Like, there's always nice gal around me. Allegedly, I'm capping. Shout me, I'm single, innit? But nice gal around me. Nice. Not Brandon, this one, that one. Nice. Chatting, nice. But it's like, have you ever been somewhere, yeah, and you're not there? Like, you're there physically, but you're not there. That's how I felt for about 5 minutes. I was like, bro, it's 2025. I didn't get 70K subs. Let the people them down and let myself down. And I said to myself, like, I can't let that be the case this year, man. I can't. And we're close, you know. Did you see Saliba's comments about needing to win trophies? I did. I think he's bang on the money. He's never been shy about speaking about trophies. I did cover that in the video I spoke about yesterday, man. Make sure you lot check that out after this. Make sure you take in. I did a recorded video with Czar. There's always content. 2022-23 was the only chance to win the league. And for me, it's a thing where, like, nah, last year was and there still is now. But obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I want us to not just win because I haven't seen us retain the Premier League, innit? I want to do that. I want to dominate. I want to be talking about what City have been speaking about. But that's probably not going to happen. You look at Liverpool, when they've had opportunities like now, we don't know what next season's going to have. We don't know what Liverpool are going to look like next season. We don't know what the Prem's going to look like next season. But if it goes the way I think it is, where they win the Prem, that's etched in stone. Bob's your uncle. And all the other times they've picked up a little champs, picked up a Prem where City's been dominating. It's set in stone. For us, I think we're building something. I do like the journey. I do think you have to kind of provide balance with Arsenal, but there's nothing set in stone. There's nothing for me, assuming that we never won a Premier League title again, there's nothing for me, because to my future wife, wherever you are, do not get any ideas about thinking my child is not going to be an Arsenal fan. And if they dare to go against the grain, I will take them to 2-3 football matches, but I'm not buying them kits. I'm not doing any of that. Yeah. But when I'm teaching my kid and my grandkid, then like, there's only so much I can talk about 2004 and this one and that one and the third. I can't. I'm not growing up my kids like that to be like, oh, but we were so close in 2022, 23, the fine margins in 24, 25. I'm not on it. I'm not on it. I need them to see trophies. Trophies are not everything. It's not the only way. We're Arsenal. Like, we win trophies, but we've never been them guys that just win trophies. And I hear the logic where some Arsenal fans say, oh, you only love Arsenal with trophies. No, I love a club. It's like obviously, it's like, say Arsenal was a girl and I'm in a relationship with Arsenal. You don't need to buy me gifts every week, but it'd be nice every now and again. Gifts being trophies. And again, whatever people have to say about that. William Saliba, Martin Odegaard, Mikel Arteta. I don't really believe Josh Kroenke, but he's saying it. The man there are saying it's a trophies thing. We like what we're doing in the statistics. It's a trophies thing. You lot do with that what you will, innit? Do with that what you will. We're going to get into all the shenanigans and the tabs I've got in a sec, man. But I appreciate it, Jerome. There'd be no point being consistent if you lot didn't fuck with the guy. So I appreciate it, man. Do you guys really need a youngster? Tell is talented, but wouldn't you want a needle mover? Jay, I'm not going to say the others. Of course I would want a needle mover. If you like, bro, Kudus, Kudus, Isaac, this one, that one. I'm being silly. Mbappe, Vinicius. Who wouldn't want that? But reality is them and they're not landing. And if you're good enough, you're old enough. Bring him. I hear it. I hear you. And I hear you. Definitely, I'm a hypocrite. But sometimes in life is hypocritical. There's exceptions to the rule. And I think Tell is one of them. Arsenal, as we said, we've never been that team that's consistently 100 million on a player and whatnot. But for some reason, and I like Declan. Someone said, you know what, we need to go against the grain here of our own philosophy and bring a man in. So, yeah, man, I hear it, though. DG, why don't we do what's required? Everyone says we'll win the league. Gonna cost owners loads in bonuses, but surely deals and kit sales go through the roof. But you're right. If you win, obviously Arsenal got a big brand and all of that stuff, but naturally you win trophies, you're gonna get paid. And 10, 20, 30 years from now, there's probably gonna be bare kids out there that are City fans because of what they're doing. It feels for me we're always a couple of pennies couple of pennies short of a pound, or if you're in America or something, we're a couple of what would you call it, cents short of a dollar. I don't even know how it works over there. I'd like Arsenal to go for Bakayoko of PSV. I like him a lot, but you see, it's one of them, man. Like, nah, I don't want to hear about that at the moment, man. Like, Tell is the guy. Like, I don't want to hear about Bakayoko at this moment. Can we stop caring about Arsenal players talking about winning trophies? No, because I want to hear that. And I rate Mustafi for saying that. Whether I rate you as a footballer or not, I want you to talk about trophies. Because when you deep it, I do think as fans, we're very superficial where we talk about trophies. I think generally football fans, they'll look down on a League Cup and it's only a League Cup, etc. But how many players participate year in, year out for a league and actually win it? The same goes for all the other cups. When you actually look at the amount of active players, like let's just assume a man starts playing football at 18 years of age, like there's 118-year-olds that are going to make their first Premier League start, and we track them until they're 35. How many of those are actually going to have silverware at the end of their careers? The vast majority probably won't. Trophies are not a given. And everything we're doing is being geared up to winning trophies, bro. You're seeing what, all the things Arteta has done off the field, in the ground. We got a dog called win. All of it. I do believe winning is how you conduct yourself in life, yeah? But everything is geared towards that end goal of hopefully lifting something. So I have to care. I have to. Because I want to hear that. Champions League in the Championship will be cold. I don't care. Oh, you're moving mad. Big up you, man. You're crap at picking football clubs, but you know about the content creators. Big up Jay. DG, tell me your opinion. Tell or Sesko. Two different players, man. Tell's more feasible now. I'm not gonna lie, I might be a hypocrite, but if you let's just fast forward to the summer and you said Mathys Tell is available and Sesko is. You don't know I've done a lot of clamoring about Sesko. And I'm probably the wrong person to ask because you can probably tell I'm a bit more upbeat with these rumors with Tell. I'm having Tell. I believe in the guy. We can buy Isaac for 150 and get David for free and sell Kai. It would be a good deal financially. Legend, I hear you, but it's sounding easier said than done. We're not going to spend 150. I'm not saying we won't buy Isaac, but 150 million on Isaac. Put Jonathan David on something cushy. You have to assume somebody wants to buy Kai Havertz, bearing in mind whether we want him or not. Gabriel Jesus is still going to be, you know, we hope he gets over his ACL, but you can't move him on. And there's probably some others. DG, why didn't we sign Kara and Gyökeres? I don't know why we didn't go for Gyökeres and Caradonna, as I call him. Was it Carrot Skeeler? Watching him at PSG in his debut, watching him in Napoli. I don't know, man. We're all big fans. I'm sure there's some reason around it, but I would have loved it. Big up yourself, Rodney. Where you been? You're normally here all the time. As an Arsenal fan from the 60s, I know for sure until I see on Sky Sports Arsenal has signed, I think I know where you're going with that. I think unless we've signed, until you see it in writing, and I'm like that as well. I always say I'm happy to entertain the talking points, but until I see them holding shirts, I used to watch Arsene Wenger, Thierry Henry, and all of this. It is what it is. Even the Zubimendi thing, which came out when we weren't really linked with immediate transfers at this moment in time. I said, that's great. If you want to do that in the summer, I'm here for that. I like him. But until it's signed and sealed, I don't want to take it in, if I'm honest with you. One love for the super chat, my guy. Now, sorry, my autocorrect is killing me. What I meant is, if we get Tell, does that mean no Sesko in the summer as a striker? I wouldn't say necessarily, because I feel in the intermediate, Tell needs to play off the left. I do think long term he's a forward, but then it all depends. If Mikel Arteta saw him in training and said, yo, you're a striker, that might, and obviously you got Kai Havertz, that might kill it. Might. Interesting talking points, man. Interesting talking points. Keep them coming. Apparently, Tell already rejected Chelsea. No excuse if we don't land him. Bring him, man. It probably does mean no striker in the summer if we get Tell now. Sesko is the next Skamaka. Not sure on Tell. Very real player. Haven't got a sporting director because we're waiting on the Real Sociedad guy. Ross, I hope you're right, because that's the one I want, man. He found Isaac when everyone weren't looking. So if he can help us, and he's just an experienced man, like, I'm sure Jason Ito's a cool guy, and if he does his thing, I'll give him his praise, right? But for me, we tried the whole young squad, young manager, young sporting director. Especially the manager and the sporting director, we tried that. Like, whether it worked or not, we tried that. Maybe a more experienced guy can pull rabbits out the hat in markets like this. Maybe, you know, provided he's given like reasons to have a bit of chest and go against Arteta, he might say, Arteta, I know you want Kai Havertz, but that 65 million could boom, 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 boom. We could do this. And his track record, man. And it don't mean anything, but we're building up the Sociedad link. So bring the sporting director there. Isaac, I know you want to join us, man. Big up Newcastle, great club. Eddie Howe's doing his thing, but come on, we're in London. Odegaard's here. Number 14 shirt is free for you, my guy, man. Who do you think Arsenal is going to sign before the end of the window? I don't have a clue, Martin, man. We need a striker in the left winger, please. Arsenal must sacrifice to buy Nico Williams. Loving your channel from Namibia. Big up the Namibians. Is that the correct term? Big up Namibia. Nico Williams, I'm conflicted because it's well known. At first, I thought I didn't really rate his Tiggy. I thought he was a decent player, but I thought, nah, he's okay. Then I started watching him the back end of last season. I'm like, he's okay. The Euros turned it for me. I'm like, you know what? Bring him to the carpet. Then he's looking a bit booky now. Maybe he's having a post-Euros hangover and he's not really doing the business. But you can't get him now because I don't know how to explain it, but everyone gets excited with these release clauses. Like, everybody sits there and thinks, because a man's got a release clause, you bid, you've got the player. That's not how transfers work. Whether they have a release clause or not, you have to judge their willingness. If Nico Williams says, yo, Arsenal, I'll sign for you lot, but I don't want to snake my boyhood club Bilbao mid-season, you can't activate that. You can't. So it is what it is. And Nico Williams, if you play like how you played in the Euros, you're worth them wages that you're on. If you're playing how I've seen post that, I'm having him though. I'm of the belief that we should be signing players when they're 17, 18, 19 exclusively, unless some sort of emergency occurs. We had the scouting department of this back in 2010. I want us to sign some experienced players, but you never stop future-proofing. You know, for me, I want players that are more immediately going to impact us. But if you're seeing a little like that Nepan, you reckon that he's got potential, bring him in. If he develops, fair enough. If he don't, and he can make us a prof, we keep it moving, man. Deluded act. I'm here to tell you. Please tell you we ain't getting tell. How long did you think about that play on words? You should be a journalist with that, man. 1989 delusion. I watched the match. Michael Thomas scored in the last 5 minutes. See, big up the older heads in here, man. I wish I was there, man. I always think I have to thank my mum and dad, for the fact that I was born in 1995, because at least I got to see 1-2 Premier League trophies. I vividly remember us, especially winning the league at White Hart Lane with Sol Campbell. And if you told me then in 2004 that Forget Arteta and what we're going on now. If you told me the austerity years at the Emirates was going to happen, I don't know. I'm probably reaching as well, but a part of me thinks, and I have no evidence to support this. I don't know why I think this, people, but I think if we won the Champions League in 2006, we're very different, you know. I also think if, you know, David, big up David Dean, but and all the owners and shareholders at Arsenal, if, you know, if you lot didn't sell up, we might not be where we're at. You get it? I'd still keep Nelly for depth. Yeah, I'll keep Nelly for depth. That man said, I like Aisha T. You're a fool, man. Would you prefer Tell to Jonathan David? 1,000,000%. We ain't getting ish. Big up stylish you. Shout the mods, man. Shout out mods. Furthermore, get the likes up. I promise you, people. It's you lot's fault. Because I always think I'm going to come here. You lot, I'm going to support the thing. I'm going to talk about the tabs. I've got a million tabs open. We're going to go over that outfit and then think I'm going to keep it moving. But you lot are the heartbeat of the platform, man. It's like, I'm cut. No, I can't be Kai Havertz. Big up Kai Havertz. I was going to say I'm Kai Havertz. You lot are Declan Rice and the injury room, man. I'm Bukayo Saka. You lot are Arteta, man. Smash the likes. And it's just a pleasure to be here speaking with you lot, man. Like, I love to talk about football. You lot are young and old and different countries and all of this kind of stuff. The only thing I would say about making content, it's a shame that the vast majority of you, and I get it, you ain't got your display pictures up, man. So it's like, I could walk past you lot in the street. I don't even know who's who. I don't want Arteta to have any more money. He spent almost 800 million, 5 years gone, and still nothing to show for it. Bit harsh to say nothing to show for it, but I hear you, because I do think he's made some good signings, and I do think he's squandered peas and been given more peas. But I would say to you, rightly or wrongly, he signed a 3-year deal. He's probably not going to get sacked, whether we want him sacked or not. Like, if he gets no money, we're not signing no one now, and we're not signing no one in the summer. And then indirectly, we're going to be moaning about the same thing times 10. So we're just giving ourselves a headache. This club ain't serious, bro. So, come on, man. Be optimistic. 99 was crazy. Giggs going the FA Cup semis as well. Vieira guilty. Crazy. Top engagement, people, but let's hit 100 likes quick, then 200 next. Appreciate that. Thierry Henry on Tower said he does extraordinary things. When he enters a match, you see it. Already he's scoring goals. When he comes on, he always faces forward. Listen, who am I? I hear it. Who am I? I'm just someone chatting shit on YouTube. But you're not going to listen to Thierry Henry. Now, Thierry Henry, the player, great. The manager, I don't know. The talent ID scout, potentially. There's something there, man. There's something there. And even if he plays only 1 minute, he creates 2 chances. It's still quite impressive, especially considering his minutes. There you have it. If he's going to Chelsea, fair enough, man. I wouldn't say I'm clickbaiting, but if I am and it got you here, fair enough, my dude. What's Tell's best position? He's a striker or winger. I think long-term he's a forward. For me, in professional football, off the left, man. Tell had crazy potential at Rennes. We should buy him outright, as it seems he wants to leave anyway, so he's only 19. I hear it, man. I wish I knew who he was going to sign. Matthias Tell, 8 matches, 0 goals, 1 assist. Sounds very exciting. Andrew, listen, if you're not excited, you're not excited. But that's a dim view to look at things, really and truly. You know, I know it's not necessarily stats, but if Liverpool fans had that, I'm sure not every Liverpool fan was 100% convinced that signing Van Dijk was the guy. And even football fans, I'm sure they weren't. We all know they used to call Salah a flop. I wonder what Thierry Henry's stats look like at Juventus, or Dennis Bergkamp's look like at Inter before he signed for us. And there's many other examples of such. Give a man a chance, because I definitely don't think he's worse than what we have. What's up, DG? These rumors are becoming too much, man. I'm getting confused. Did we sign anyone yet? Until you see us play, our players holding shirts, it's a myth. DG, between Sesko and Duran, who would you take? See, now it's weird because I'm a big fan of Sesko. Everything is making me want to say Sesko, and I can't tell you why. There's something I like about Duran. So, yeah, man. There's just something about him, man. Skipping on this Duran, brother. Honestly, Sesko and Tell are far better purchases. DG, Arsenal versus Inter. But look back at how far you've come, DG. Big up yourself. Not reaching 70k is in a failure. Nah, it is, man. I'm definitely appreciative of the journey. I'm definitely appreciative, because I'm moaning about 70,000. There's obviously some people that would love to have 64 odd thousand. So I'm definitely not good. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm definitely grateful, but it's how I look at Mikel Arteta. It's like, cool, big up the rebuild and all the things we've done, but we're at the point now, it's time to win the league and these small margins. So that's what we're fixated on, man. That's what we're fixated on, man. I think what we're doing is actually criminal. We let our best striker go on a free, then didn't do anything about it, even in the summer afterwards. It can't just be me who feels like we've regressed since 2 seasons ago. Fair enough. what journey we want to win. And that's where we're at, Arsenal Bro Club. You're definitely one of the best Arsenal content creators on YouTube. I don't know about that, but the very fact that you thought that means I'm doing something all right. So hopefully I can. DG, thoughts on the game today? Win it. There's rumours Mikel Arteta's going strong. I don't know how much I read into that, because you kind of have to go strong. There might be one or two players you could take out, but we don't have bodies. Saudi clubs more ambitious than Arsenal. Them man got racks, bro. And I'm not blaming it, but these players, bro. I'm not trying to be funny, but Duran, 21 years of age, you come from Colombia. As much as you want to win trophies and realize your full potential, bro, you need to make money. It's like Osman. When you go and look at Osman's documentary and he says he was in Nigeria selling water bottles and all of them kind of things, I understand why you want to do what you're doing. So yeah, if you get, and let's be honest, man, I'm not going to stay in well, you could, but these dons are not going to stay in Saudi Arabia unless the league dramatically develops for 5 or 6 years. It's quick. Go over there for a year or two, maybe even 3. Some you even see in a back after 6 to 18 months. Get your money tax free as well, and then we're back. Big up CeeLo. Tell shouts from DJ. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you ain't been here long enough. So you definitely need to subscribe, man. You definitely need to. Thoughts on Boniface joining the Saudi league? Go get your bread. Money, bro. Money. We can play Tell as a winger. He's very versatile. Club has no ambition, and the Cronkies don't care about trophies. Only thing important. Man said just waiting to be a mod, to be honest. Make sure you're subscribing to Famzone TV. Where are you, bro? Oh, there you are. Let me make you a mod now. Where are you? Add mod. I did say I would. Don't even know how this works. There we have it. There you are. We need to get rid of Jesus. Once again, bro, the Jesus. You can't get rid of him. Like, even if you want to, like, for me, I don't know, man, because again, harsh doesn't mean it's wrong, but it would feel bad for me to sit here and say, cancel our man's contract, do this, do that, when you bust your ACL, like, again, with Jesus in a different leg. But then also, that's not how we are as a football club. And also, like, even if you want to shout to your blue in the face about selling Gabriel Jesus, who is going to, on the best of days, who was going to buy Gabriel Jesus? And he can't play football right now. If anything, you want to see how he recovers, really. Would you buy a car that there's something wrong with it, like properly wrong with it? A car you can't drive. It don't make sense unless you're, you know, a car flipper, and that does not make sense. Why would you want to buy a car the wheels are bust? You're not going nowhere. Smash the likes, and then moderator says, "Brother, you're moderator, man. You're a mod now, man. We need Isaac Yokerez or moderators. This guy's a fool." I'm having Yokerez, man, but Yokerez would be, as I said on your stream, and I think I said it now, I think we only go for Yokerez if, for one reason or another, Isaac ain't happening, Sesko ain't happening. There might even be, you know what, because there's probably some names that we don't even know. So yeah, Peter Banks is chosen to referee Arsenal versus City. He is from Liverpool and is a Liverpool fan and is not allowed to ref Liverpool games. PGMOL are not even hiding the corruptions. But it's not snaking if the club put a release clause. Of course it's not snaking, but I'm not saying you, but sometimes you got to think logically. Like, them players there that come through the system at Bilbao, like Bilbao are one of them clubs where I'm sure they've got rules where you have to be from that region of Spain and whatnot. It means a bit more. And he's made a big song and dance about, I want to, you know, I think the either the Europa League final or something that they're in is going to be played there. He made a big song and dance about, I want to challenge in Europe, etc. And you might feel like a bit of a snake leaving mid-season, a club you've got attachment to. You might sit there. Some players will say, fuck it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm cutting out. Some will say, you know what, end of the season, I don't want to leave like that. And I think that I don't know Nico Williams from nowhere. But I think I genuinely think that's how he's looking at it. Williams gets our creativity up. And at the end of the day, I'll be real, man. Like, no matter what I've said positively or negatively about Nico Williams, like, do I think you're better than Martinelli? Yes. Do I think you're better than Trossard? Probably. And I wouldn't sell Trossard. You're part of the squad. Do I just think you're a better option off the left than what's available right now? 1,000,000%. Because the way it's going now, bro, like, we're gonna have to run Ethan into the ground for this season. Like, you're going to have to. And as much as we have said Ethan needs to get more minutes and get more minutes, you got to remember these footballers are growing physically and coping with the demands of playing 3 games in a week, or 3 games in 10 days, twice a week. And Arteta even said that. And it's a shame, though, when it's only a minor injury in his back, but when Ethan got that injury, who did we play? Like Brighton and Brentford, he was doing all right. It felt like, cool, this is when we're going to get to really see a bit of him now. Oh, he's back now, so yeah, it is what it is in that regard. To be honest, we need Ronaldo Ronaldo in Manchester United, brother. That's God, man. Give up, man. Arsenal's cooked so much. We could be cooked, but this is the club I love, innit? Like, if Arsenal were to be in non-league, I'm still following. Fortunately, that's not us. Could be a reality for Spurs, though, and Man United. I wouldn't want Man United to get relegated. You know, genuinely, it would be lovely to watch Spurs burn to the ground. Great stadium, though. I actually feel the Cronkies could learn a lot from Daniel Levy. I think he's the best CEO owner in world football, and I think Postecoglou deserves another contract. He's so brave, so brave, attacking with 9 men, completely disregarding defending. Keep doing what you're doing, Spurs, man. Maybe there really is a power shift, man. This guy, but. I agree things would have been different for Arsenal because one, Henry wouldn't have left and would feel compelled to retire at the Emirates. It's all hypotheticals, man. You know what? Maybe if we didn't have a dodgy ref, we win in Paris in 2006. Yeah, that's one of the darkest times, man. Paris 06. I'm sure I was in primary school, early 2000s. We got Michael Owen did a madness against us in was it the FA Cup? I'm sure I'm not making this up because I remember crying. Hey, big up Michael Owen, man. And even Michael Owen, I don't think Michael Owen gets his flowers, man. Maybe it's because the Michael Owen off the pitch is a bit of a donut. And these lot all know more about football than me. But sometimes I sit here, yeah, and I hear Paul Scholes, I hear Michael Owen. I'm not even gonna lie, couple shouts throughout the years from Thierry Henry. Like all of these great players, like these ballers. Some of the things they say, I'm like, it could never, you couldn't, it must be a clone like Gucci, man. It can't be the same one. It can't, you lot can't have you lot that played at the highest level can't have these idiot shouts, man. Austerity years, yo, that's a line. I'm stealing that. Team 1993 in here. Love watching us win. Only team we had chat for, Man United. We should have ended their trouble, man. Hey, deluded, you want to pick up the oldies I once had a knock with? What? Tony? I don't know if that's a pause. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but big you up, man. Big you up for that one. Man called himself Kai Havertz, you know. DG, are you saying you wouldn't score in a brothel? I definitely wouldn't score in a brothel, bro. I'm a lot of things. Me pay for pum pum. That's crazy. Big up you lot, you do that. You're going crazy, man. The fact you read as much comments as you can from your viewers sets you apart from everyone else. I don't know about that, but I appreciate that. Apparently, Tell first hit had Omri on the back. I think you mean Kit need Unks to give him a call. Bro, we need to, before it runs out, if there's any little juice with Arsenal and French players or players that might not necessarily be French, but they're there, we need to do this. I know I'm reaching a bit, but one thing and we've got Saliba, but like, I have thought at times that there's a bit of an injustice that, and again, I'm exaggerating, but I ain't killing Mbappe, Camavinga, even a Kante, like none of these guys played for my club. What's going on? We were the guys for that. We were the guys. Get back to it. I know the dynamics in the game has changed, but yeah, man. You know I want these boys to win. I want to talk about new Arsenal legends. True. Henry at Arsenal, 9 games, 0 goals, stats saying everything. Is that stats were smelly at Sociedad before he signed for Newcastle? Now look at him. Stats are obviously important, but you've got to look at the full picture, bro. You lot are far too kind, man. Appreciate that. You lot are far too kind. With support like this, I can't stop, man. Make sure you're following Fam Zone TV as well. Trench Talks in 48 hours. Is my maths on point? Yeah, it's Friday. If we could seriously get Duran this window, that would be my vote. All the other high-profile links are unrealistic. If you know what, if there was a deal that made sense, I must admit, you lot have converted me. The 70, 80 plus shouts for Duran. I mean, it could look like a smart piece of business, but at this moment in time, at 2:38, on the 29th of Jan, it looks like I don't know, man. It's all gambles, but I'd rather gamble elsewhere, man. Stay being you, DG. You're very balanced and you speak understanding towards footballers. As a man who played the sport, you are the man walking online that divides his fan base. One love. You lot heard of Nketiah. I big up back of the nest. Make sure you're following my Crystal Palace people. The man are trying to get us to buy Nketiah. Bro, Arsenal have been robbed so many times in the market, but you know how happy I am we've robbed you lot. I was watching you lot, Crystal Palace fans at the beginning of the season. I think Eddie Nketiah was doing well and big him up. I hope he continues. And you look, well, guys, him. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. We got players for you, man. We got players for you, man. We got players. We got Zinchenko there. We got bare things. Hey, deluded, you want big oldies? I once had a knockout with Les Compton. Hey, you are old Tony, man. Shit. Big up you. Bro, I got a bet for you. Arsenal will get a red card before the City match when the match is officiated by Michael Oliver. 70-1, please, need be. Boy. Man said, you're a good waffle of DG, perfect for YouTube. Good luck, bro. Appreciate that, man. Flip it out. That's them backhanded comments like, gal, like, I was 20 and I nearly cried. Yeah, I know I weren't making it up. The 0-1 final, bro. Michael Owen got blood in his hands, man. Blood on his hands. You definitely don't need stats to see if a player's good or not. Gyökeres seems the more realistic option, but we just don't show interest. Release clause, baller in a lesser league, so likely won't struggle without him. Plus, wage increase would be mad. It's true, but going back to the other side of it, yeah, don't get twisted. I think if we put our hat into the ring for Gyökeres and we activate this release clause, he would listen. But just to be devil's advocate, let's just say he is on joining Arsenal, but he's also equally on joining Chelsea, Man United. City are not interested in him, but City and the foreign clubs. And he's heard indirectly in the summer, these lot might come for him. Would you, if you're him, would you not just keep doing your thing and leave your options open? It's not always as white and black, man. On a positive note, bro, I'll see you at the Ecstasy Juve. That's all we'll be celebrating in the summer. I don't think I'll be there, my guy, but appreciative, man. Duran for 70, 80 M's is a panic thing. He's not proven yet. He's had a good 6 months, and that's not enough of a sample size. Same here. 80 million is not worth the risk for Duran. He might turn out to be a superstar, but for 80 million, it's not right now. DG, we won't get tell. This club would only do a loan. Other clubs would pay the loan. This club is a joke. Man said, pick up broski. Don't tell D I'm here. He's freed you already, man. He's freed you already. To be honest, it's wild how Edu dipped mid-project. That has definitely affected our movement this window. On one hand, I agree. And then on the other hand, I don't. Because if we know what we need to do post-summer, yeah, like we know, because let's be honest, anyone that understands football, obviously in the summer, there's some things that will be put into place in the summer and done in the summer. But the vast majority of clubs, they're talking with XYZ after the summer and in these months that have led to this point. So if we know exactly what we want to do and we've started it, what really changes? Surely Jason Ito can dot I's and cross T's. But at the same time, I agree with what you're saying. But then if you're Edu, at the end of the day, every human in this world is governed by self-interest, and it's what you want to do. And I genuinely think, rightly or wrongly, Arteta's got more of a voice than you. We hear you wanted to do the multi-club thing. It never happened. So you don't feel you're being taken in. If the Nottingham Forest guy is saying, like, who tried to get him in the summer, I'll let you have your I'll let you run my multi-club thing, and it's making more sense. And I'm going to get more money probably. And I'm getting 6 months gardening leave. It makes sense. Tell prefers United. Boy. If you prefer United, you prefer United. To be fair, if I'm Tell, you must look at Joshua Zirkzee and Højlund and think, fuck playing off the left, I'll play through the middle. United need an attacker, and to be honest with you, that's a good point because Rashford hasn't left yet, but Rashford's going to cut. Anthony's cut. I feel like I'm missing someone else out. Because as much as you think United season's a write-off, at the end of the day, they're still having to play Premier League games, and they're obviously still in Europe, if I'm honest. 100%. I've left jobs for more pay mid-project. I don't blame the man. Exactly. It's got nothing to do with you. And to be fair with you, rightly or wrongly, I'm not saying Edu has or done a bad job, but you wanted Arteta times two, because the year we got Emre, he wanted Arteta. You signed off on Arteta. We have gone from back-to-back 8th and still being in a mess. And you could argue we're still a mess. We still are, and we're still in issues. But what we can't do is not say we're not in a healthier place. You've left now. You might have said, I've taken this, I've been part of this as far as I can. I'm gone now. I can leave with my head held high. Bearing in mind, he was here when we won the FA Cup. So, yeah, man. At the end of the day, it's what Edu wants to do, blood. I have no expectations for this window. My soul died a long time ago. I will, Tony. United squad is full. They can't sign anyone until they sell Rashford or Garnacho. That's who I was thinking of, man. Garnacho. So if Garnacho cuts, Rashford's probably going to go on loan. And even that, there has to be a willingness. I do think Rashford and Amarin, all the bridges are burnt. I do think Amarin is not keen on Rashford, but I think he's got the green light for those above. And I'm sure likewise, Rashford come out, it didn't help his case at all. He come out with that interview chatting off and he's still not left. He's still not playing. But with the window kind of closing, surely in the back of both of their minds, like Amarin and whoever and Rashford, there has to be a willingness to compromise at least till the summer, because at the end of the day, you know, if United don't bring in any attackers and Garnacho and Anthony's gone on loan, they need to use him as a body. I mean, even in the post comments, Amarin said we lacked pace, and he's on 300 grand a week. So it's like, I'm sure many people have washed their hands with Rashford, but yeah, Arsenal don't get any ideas, man. As I said, I'm rooting for 100%. I am rooting for Marcus Rashford. I want it to work for him so bad, just not at my club. And I big up Marcus Rashford, and I'm not even trying to throw a stray at Raheem Sterling, but everything you lot have been trying to tell me about why we should sign Marcus Rashford, you lot were saying the exact same things about Sterling, and I'm not seeing nothing going on over there. Like, why can't we go for people like Matthias Tell or whatever that? A bit like when we got Odegaard, like decent players, got a bit of experience, you know, just need a bit of love and then keep it moving. Like Rashford, I don't want to refer to him as damaged goods because I like him, he's mandem, but he's damaged goods. And it's not always our house that we need to, you know, always house these talents in, man. Not lack of talent there, it's more his head messing it up for right now. Rashford stagnated, he's a good player, but your decision making ain't improved. You keep having bust ups with managers. You might actually, like, Amarin might be chatting off. Like, we don't know. Amarin might actually be wrong with what he's saying about Rashford. But for me as an ignorant fan, you've beefed Jose, you've beefed Van Gaal, you might have even beefed someone else. Now you're beefing my man. You're looking at the issues. He's definitely gonna need him if they don't sign anyone. But I think he's been given the green light. He's clearly been given the green light because some people like Ten Hag, he's tried to do this with Rashford. He never got it. It's like Unai Emery with Ozil and all them players that were misbehaving. You never got the green light to act up. It genuinely is to me, whether it was Edu or those above him, you can do, like, you don't want that player get rid, even in the all or nothing. If we cast our minds back, we've all watched it. At the time when the Aubameyang thing is happening, Richard Garlick and Edu, they actually, you know, when Arteta says rip up the contract, they actually don't want to do that. You know, Arteta's the one that, oh, get rid of him. So Arteta's getting the green light to puff out chess. United managers love beefing with their wingers. Rashford has even lost his burst of pace, and even that, like, for Marcus, like, yeah, you're not playing, bro. Like, you're not playing. You haven't played for about a month. Like, you're not gonna be fit. Yeah, you can train, but there's only so much training that can replicate a match day. Like, I'll be amazed if, well, I don't know. I'll be amazed if it continues like this. Well, it can't because we've got a couple of days left of the window. If it continues like this, you're going to 100% see Marcus Rashford play for Man United's under 21s. Have to. You're not going to be fit. Even if you were to sign for AC Milan, Barca, them clubs, they have been linked with him aggressively. You're not in the best possible form to even hit the ground running over there. Rashford is talented, but Arsenal needs to stop taking on revolutionization projects. I'm with that. I'm cool with signings like Nepan, Sesko, and Tell, future-proof to squad, a smart business. Same, but simultaneously, sign some man that are on winning right now or can help us right now. Man said Ashanti left back, Cassie right back, Nia Long and Lauren London centre back. Now that's a back line I'd watch there. You're mad, you're mania. Some good names though. Who would be the best for me? That's some serious players. The Invincibles back five and the George Graham ones can't even talk to that. Oof. Ashanti would be my Ashanti or Neil Long. Cassie lost still. That's serious. That's it. You lot get me to 100. I promise you, if you lot get me to 100k, yeah, 100k subs, we can start living movies. That's how you get the blue ticks, man. If I get the blue tick on Instagram, I know she's not gonna reply because she's dealing with Nelly, but I'll DM Ashanti. You don't know. The only penalties not scored are the ones not taken, in it. So it is what it is, people. Should we see what the tabloids are saying still? Obviously, we can. This is, you lot can air all of this. This is all for the live stream we're doing later today. But what I would say is, if you've been living under a rock, people, again, the FA have upheld a claim of unwrongful dismissal in relation to Lewis Skelly's red card against Wolves, and obviously his 3-game suspension is removed, so he's eligible to, you know, continue his Arsenal career where the domestic league's concerned. That was obviously officially confirmed, and they're a bit snooty, innit? Like, the FA, man. Like, they didn't even say sorry. But anyways, I'm not with the Duran thing, but Romano said, what I'm told is that Arsenal made a call in recent weeks to understand the situation of Duran, but there's been no bid, no direct negotiations with Aston Villa. So if you've made a phone call, it's like calling a girl saying, I'm interested, and she's saying, what, are you going to organize a date? And then the conversation is dead. You're not going nowhere with it, are you? Again, the Sun have said today, whether you believe the Sun or not, it's down to you. Arsenal are exploring a shock move for Aston Villa's John Duran, even though Isaac is still their dream target. Again, people, simultaneously, he's been linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, even to the extent of them saying that he's agreed personal terms. John Duran, David Ornstein has said that's not a player Arsenal are going for. So we can draw a line in the sand for that. Ornstein did say on us getting a striker, I think Arsenal will do something. That's my sense, because work is going on inside the club to bring in someone that Arteta feels is the right one. I must admit, I did think it's easier to sign an inside forward than a striker, but the language from all of these guys has been like, we're getting a number 9. I would include Matthias Tell as an inside forward. He can play up front, but yeah, need MLS revenge beat City on Sunday. Do you know what? Yeah, Lewis Skelly, you've had a great season, but life has come at you fast. You've been booked before you even came on the pitch. You beefed Haaland. You've had this crazy red card. You're obviously playing week in, week out. You've benched Calafiori, who's a 40, 50 million pound signing. Big him up. He's living the dream. You rattled the Spurs fans, having a great performance, but you rattled the Spurs fans recently when we beat them at the Emirates. So, yeah, again, apparently Chelsea have joined Arsenal in inquiring about John Duran. I'm bored of speaking about that. But I'm not bored of speaking about Matthias Tell, people. Allegedly, Sky Germany have said Tell is appreciated by Arsenal. The Premier League club has been monitoring Tell since he joined Bayern Munich and never lost sight of him. Arsenal are looking to strengthen their forward line this month following the injuries to Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus. A loan move to Marseille or within the Bundesliga is unlikely. Bayern's preference is to loan Tell out, but big clubs interested want him on a permanent deal. Further talks will follow, but what is clear is that it's almost impossible Tell will stay at Bayern in the second half of the season. He's been linked with Chelsea, and there's every chance they could get him. Been linked with Man United, been linked with Arsenal, and there's, it says Bayern want to loan him out. There's probably some clubs he could be housed at, people. So we'll have to see in that regards. He's joining Man United. If he joins Man United, it is what it is. What I would say, though, is people, everyone's going to come out, and the majority of these people are going to come out and say, oh, I knew about him. There's a vid for you. When was this? The 4th of June, 2024. And this is even an older one, because we were talking about him when he was playing for the under-17s. So, yeah, bit of homework for you lot after. Arsenal have joined the race to sign 24 million attacker ahead of Chelsea and Man United, according to reports in Germany. The only real winners here are Bayern Munich if everyone's trying to buy you. I think he could go United, because I think there's a pattern there for you to play. I think you could go Chelsea because there's scope for, okay, we want Nkunku, you lot want this, let's make that happen. And for obvious reasons, I think Arsenal could get involved in that regards. The report claims that Arsenal have retained their interest in Tell since he joined Bayern and remain in the market to bolster Mikel Arteta's attacking options before the end of the January transfer window. Make sure you have hitting the like button. What happened to Makoko? Sometimes your path is not linear, bro. Like, sometimes because you're good at 18, 19, maybe you're not just meant to be that guy, really. Apparently, he's appreciated at Arsenal, people. So, yeah, I think we've read that already. Arsenal are considering a move for Tell as one of a number of clubs, including Chelsea, alerted by his intention to leave Bayern. A significant issue Arsenal must overcome is whether a loan with an option to buy is possible. Fewer clubs would be interested if it was just a loan without an option to buy. Arsenal's plans to to be fair, when we got Odegaard, it's very different, but we never had an option. We had him on a dry loan, and then we patterned it up, so you never know. Arsenal's plan is to bring in a new forward and Tell fits all their criteria, especially regarding his potential to flourish with a consistent role. The news that the Frenchman has become available surprised Arsenal due to his obvious talent. Really, if you're just following, he's not playing. It has naturally caused the club to look at a potential deal. What could be done to convince Bayern to sell? This is from Miguel Delaney. But so I don't know, man. I'd feel a lot more optimistic if I see David Ornstein or one of them brothers talk about it. Bayern would nevertheless want to keep a player of such talent and seek to do some kind of deal where he could get the football he wants, but retain the option to bring him back in the future. Now, I don't want to do too much because France are littered with talent, but there's a World Cup next year. Tell, I think if you get some real good football, you never know what could happen for you. Players like Cherki and Tell have superstar potential and obviously worth the risk despite having stalled in their development. I'm having Ryan Cherki. I've said it before. I think if I could, I would sit him down and say, you're good. But one day, and you're in your early 20s, but one day your career is going to fly by. You could be great, but you've got to want it. Obviously you're not Cristiano Ronaldo, but if you jump on that kind of Cristiano Ronaldo, always want to be better. I'm obsessed with progress. Cherki is the things I've seen him do are ridiculous. Numerous clubs that were interested in Tell before his transfer to Bayern have never lost sight. According to TZ information, this includes Arsenal. The London club are looking for offensive reinforcements in the winter following the injuries to Saka and Gabriel Jesus. Chelsea is not an option for Tell. OM move unlikely. Bayern prefer a loan, people. Tell is known to be very open to Arsenal, both due to the status of the club right now. What do you mean right now? Forever. But anyways, but also the possibility for football due to the thinness of Arteta's options. Arteta's done it again. He knew this would happen. The latter is not the case currently with Chelsea, who are also interested in Tell due to their abundance of players they have in the forward positions. You never know. Maresca could sit him down and say a madness. But yeah, we've got less players. They've got more. You do the maths, people. And we should be interested in these kind of men, regardless of if Saka and Jesus are injured, which we wish them the best. Apparently, Blinder said Tell made it clear he doesn't want to go to Chelsea because the competition there is just as big as Bayern. Tell wants to leave Bayern in order to play regularly. Several Bundesliga clubs are interested in a loan. Even Borussia Dortmund have considered Tell's name, but a move there is now rather unlikely. Bayern Leverkusen have also discussed the Frenchman due to the possible departure of Boniface, who we're now seeing it's the case. But Bayern are unlikely to be willing to strengthen their rival. Tell is leaning towards a move outside the Bundesliga. Manchester United and Spurs are also interested. Spurs, bro. Man United, Arsenal's one thing, Chelsea's another. Fair enough, man. So yeah, man. Go and take in that video as well, people. Yeah, everybody's saying we're pursuing. And again, there is a reality where Arsenal are not interested, you know. It's just creative journalism. Arsenal need a striker / winger. We've got injuries. This guy can't play. The transfer window's the best time for the journalists, man, because there's no way of proofing this. Everybody's clicking. Definitely where us Arsenal fans are concerned. More so because we want hope, people. So, yeah, all these articles are all saying the same thing at this point. Wolves are expecting one or more offers for Cunha before the transfer deadline, with Aston Villa, Arsenal, and Forest interested. Now, I'm dream chasing. We're definitely not getting, well, it's political whether we get either Tell or Cunha. But is the reality we get both? Martinelli and Havertz can sit on the bench where they deserve. I do think they should get demoted, but if you take your chances and you play well, go and do your thing. He'll end up at Frankfurt. I mean, if I'm Bayern Munich, I'm not trying to sell him permanently. I'm going to let him go. Ironically, I'd probably let him go Spurs. I'd let him go to these shit teams where you're genuine, respectfully to the ones in the Bundesliga where you're going to play. You know, I think you're going to play at Arsenal, but it's not set in stone. I think you would play at Man United. It's not set in stone. I actually think you'd play at Chelsea, but they've got more players than you can count. I don't believe this, but for what it's fair to draw a line on the sand with the Vlahovic stuff, isn't it, people? But Vlahovic will be looking for another club this summer, according to reports in Italy, probably owing to the fact that his contract is running down. Reports in Italy say Napoli have rejected a 65 million euros bid from Galatasaray for Victor Osimhen, people. We're not going to get Ferguson, so what's the point waffling about that? That is for net. This is all for the watch along, people. There's all content there. What's this? We've been offered Moise Kean from Fiorentina. He's finding his feet again. Obviously, some moves just don't work out. You know, Carlo Ancelotti has done great things as a manager, probably not known for anything. People forget he was the Everton gaffer. If he became available today, I think a lot of Premier League clubs would have him. So I wouldn't write off a man just because you went somewhere and it didn't bang. But I'm not really for that. 16 goals in 26 appearances for Fiorentina. Obviously, from a striker point of view, that's going to put you on the radar. We've been linked with him, and apparently we've been offered Mario Retegui. He's decent over at Atalanta. I'm not going to lie. I'm not really trying to hear that one, but yeah. Again, John Duran's agreed personal terms with El Nazir, apparently. I think Arsenal have been interested, but I don't think it's that deep. Again, we're looking at alternatives to Sesko because it doesn't look like that could happen. But this article does say he could leave at the end of the season for a fee of around 70 to 75 million euros. So what's that in pounds? About 60, 65 odd? I don't know, people. Arsenal have been looking at a young keeper. I have never seen this guy play. Dennis Domeza of Adana Demirspor. Never seen him play, but he's 16 years of age. Apparently will cost 3 million quid. Doesn't mean we can get him at this moment in time. Apparently Galatasaray are hearing for him. I've never seen him play, but I have bought him in Football Manager. Like some of you would have seen. He hasn't played. He's gone straight out on loan. Allegedly, Arsenal are close to reaching a full agreement with Athletic Club for Nico Williams, according to this bombshell in Spain. Really? Really? At this point, Nico Williams must know Arsenal and a bunch of other clubs are interested in you. Everyone's well aware of your release clause. It's just, are you going to leave? I'm bored of this, people. He's got 3 goals and provided 5 assists in 29 appearances all season, people. So it's hardly eye-catching, but I would imagine you would take Martinelli's spot. Again, we've been offered Matteo Retegui, the 25-year-old of Atalanta. We're definitely not going to get him, people. But, you know, the dream is free, as I say. The hustle is sold separately. I would love Arsenal to sign Florian Wirtz. Apparently, he's going to sign a new contract at Leverkusen with a release clause of 125 million euros, which will be valid in 2026. Big up him because, like Timber, he's come back from an ACL and everyone, rightly so, forgot. I'd love him. Our former fullback Cedric Suarez has become a new Sao Paulo player on a short-term deal. People, big him up. Again, Sky Germany are still saying Isaac is very high on Arsenal's list for the summer, but as it says here, it's complicated and very expensive, which I believe so. But that same sentence could have applied to Declan Rice, and we got it over the line. Arsenal face competition from Girona as Nepan battle hots up. As we know, Girona are part of the City group. They think they're smart, man. Like, they think City, you lot think you're smart. You're going to buy him under Girona's name. He's going to play. If he shows that he's decent and half decent, he's going to go to City. We've seen this before, man. You can't do anything. You can't pull these new games. To be fair, from what he looks like on YouTube, he do look suited to the Spanish way of life. But, you know, Arteta, gas him, man. Gas him. Girona believe that Nepan would immediately be part of their first team, and that might not be the case if he joins Arsenal. I think he would. You might not play week in, week out, but we don't really have that many players. Leverkusen are apparently the team strongest on the Ferguson or Brighton case. Probably not going to get him, are we? But there it is. Arsenal are still, let's pause this because we're going to get copyrighted. Arsenal are keen on Botafogo striker Igor Jesus. We're still getting linked with him. Apparently, it will cost 30 million. Now, I don't want to write off a man because I ain't seen you and I'll give everyone a chance. But when you do your due diligence, yeah, especially the fact that he's Brazilian, and let's be honest, yeah, every half-decent Brazilian, you're going Portugal. In this day and age now, Real Madrid and Chelsea all the bigger teams in Europe are looking at you. City just bought a centre-back. So you're going to end up in Portugal. You're going to end up in England, potentially Spain. I don't know about now, but there was a time where you would see Brazilians end up in Ukraine where Shakhtar's concerned, or even 1-2 in Russia. From what I've seen at him at 23 years of age, you've only played in Brazil and you've played in the UAE. Really? Is he going to be the guy? Now, good players come from everywhere. If he signed and he scores the goals, nobody cares. But it's not really convincing me. At least we've had a new name in Moise Kean thrown into the ring, people. Again, we know we're probably going to have to wait till the summer for a new forward. Every journalist is just remixing and everybody's saying the same things when it's getting boring. Tab police are always on to me. I hope they're not now. I just deleted the tab I'd actually need. But yeah, we're getting cleaner there. Saliba said, one of you mentioned it, and we might as well pull it up here, people. He said, everything is going well, but the only thing missing is major trophies. This is how people remember you even 20 years later. We're playing well and the team is great, but we just need to lift a few trophies at the end of the season. We'll be lucky to lift one, my boy, but a few, I love it, man. Who knows? Technically, the treble is still on. We're not in the League Cup, but we're not out of it. The Champions League, we're in it. You got to be in it to win it. And word to Arsene Wenger, until the league, don't forget to follow on Spotify, until the league is mathematically impossible, then there's always a chance. And obviously, people will be doing a watch along for the Girona game. So it'd be a pleasure to see you lot join me there. Let's get back into the comments. Gabriel has been better, in my opinion. Who are you referring to, man? As soon as we get linked to a young player, this is where I come to hear if they're any good. Big up, my bro. One love, man. One love. DG, what kind of PC you got? Those tabs are crazy. You know what? Big up Hooks. Make sure you're following Halftime Hooks. He says that. I got it a few years ago. I say a few years. Maybe 3-4 years. It's a customized one still. It's a customized one. I need to get another one, to be fair. If we don't get a striker, we won't win ish. And whose fault is that? The owners, for one, because they don't give a ish. And Arteta's Mr. Stubborn. We don't need a striker because we got Havertz. We can't loan any EPL players, man. Sterling and Neto loans are useless. If I'm a Premier League team, I'll never do business with Girona. But, man, I'm really still talking about the wage structure getting broken after we signed Havertz. And he never broke it. They broke it themselves, man. Tell Nico. I'm not on Nico Williams completely destroys our wage structure. I hear that. But what I would say is, yeah, and you can't be reckless. But if we want to be a big team, you're going to have to put people on big wages. I don't think everyone out of the 13, 14, 15, 16, 20 man squad is going to be on big Ps. But there's going to be a reality where... Why is music playing? Okay, anyways, I don't know why that kind of scared me. I don't know why music stopped playing. And I lost my trail of thought. I'll get it back. Yeah, there's going to be a reality where a couple man are going to sit on the bench. They might be on 150, 200 grand a week wages. And you'd imagine in the summer, we're going to have to be very cute and clever because the new players are going to be on decent money. I don't want Partey to leave, but Partey on paper, it looks like you're gone. Zinni's gone. Jorginho's gone. Nelson's on 100 bags. Tierney's on 100 bags. There's a lot of things we need to do and whatnot. And you look at City. City probably like at the end of the day, only 11 players can start. You know, there's man on the bench on healthy wages. A man said Keane has the best hair on FIFA. We will sign the goalkeeper, cancel Neto's loan in Rashford. There's an assumption that if we offer to pay a release clause, then that is good. If a player doesn't want to come now, it ain't happening. There you have it. Oh. Martinelli isn't playing half as bad as some of you are trying to make it seem. Blame your coach's tactics. For Martinelli, brother, until you get back to anything close to the 2022-23 season, man said Hosselu loan. It's a bench thing, bro. See you when the game begins, man's going, Jim, big up you, man. Big up you, my dude. Big up, man. Big up all of you, lot, by the way. And please make sure we're hitting the like button. Makoko is like 25, really. I was trying to avoid it, but there was them fake age allegations, man. For obvious reasons, I like to avoid that kind of stuff because we all know what happens. What else have we got? It's all paper talk, and at least it provides us with talking points. But yeah, Ashanti all day, I'd fight Nelly for it. Big up Nelly because he's a stronger man than me. You see, if I had a girlfriend and we've broken up and years down the line we get back together, I'm not on it, man. I'm not on it, man. I know what I'm gonna think about. How many duns been here? Like, no, man, because there's been girl I've dealt with before, not romantically, but I've dealt with them before. Stop talking, start chatting. The brain was meaty. And now it's lit, or them times it's lit. You've learned that somewhere. They understand the game's the game. But my wife, I couldn't, man. I couldn't. I big up you lot who spin the block and get back with your exes, but that's a myth for me. Someone mentioned Carnival 2025. Bro, Carnival Tuesdays, you know that's my thing, man. I'm there. So yeah, big up you lot, man. We aren't going to spend more than whatever Jonathan David would cost right now. Hey, John, boy, like, man. Tel's not going to United. These journalists they're capping on everything. Meaty, Brizak. Meaty. It was meaty. You know, you just have to skip to the action because, bro, that's going to kill my vibe. It was meaty. Few years gone past, 2-2s now. Word to lethal beat. It is a Mazzolini, man. Just get a tab suspender extension, bro. Saves memory. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'll look into that. Good afternoon, Peckham, man. Hope you're doing well and safe. Have you seen that guy play probably more than 5 games? At this point, do I need to gas up my thing with Mathys Tel? Just type in go on if you care. Just take my app from Twitter and type in Mathys Tel or Tel Money, or just go through my YouTube vids. DG Sesko, Gyökeres, Osman. For me personally, I like Gyökeres, you know, but it seems like Arteta's convinced on Sesko, so I'll say Sesko first, then Gyökeres. Osman's a good player, but I do think people gas it. I don't think it's the thing, man, if I'm honest with you. If Osman signed tomorrow, boy, I'm not going to cry, man. But there's got to be a reason you were linked with Arsenal, United, Chelsea. Chelsea, you got more money than sense. All these teams were onto you. They were onto you, like, going into the summer. PSG, for one reason or another, you've ended, respectfully, you're in Turkey on a Bandulu loan. So what's gone on? Is it, you know, you're too expensive? Napoli want too much? The commission from the wages? Commission from the agent, the wages? Or is there something that we don't know that's put off all these clubs? I don't know. It's not the same, but it's a bit like Ivan Toney. For all the talk, you rocked up in Saudi like no one was, and you couldn't have made it more obvious you wanted to leave. You were doing that podcast, rightly or wrongly, because I wouldn't have been against. I wouldn't have been necessarily for it, but I wouldn't have been against it. Why was no one on you? There might be nothing wrong with you, and everybody missed the trick. But why was nobody on you? For all the paper talk, why was no one on you? And again, going into the summer when we wanted a striker and we were linked with strikers, Osimhen, like Ivan Toney, we don't really know because we're just fans. But it was abundantly clear the position that maybe their clubs have and the players have. The others. You didn't know Sesko wanted to leave. We saw his agent and at all these Premier League games, and we heard it, but you didn't know. Like, it weren't obvious. So, yeah, man, that's what I always say. It's all fun and games, and I defo don't mind talking about these rumors and these things with you. But until people are holding shirts and all of that, it's dead. Don't think signing Duran for 80, not a good idea, considering the fact that his stats aren't really that impressive. He's had like 6 goals less than Havertz. Our squad was the 3rd highest value end of 2023. We are safe for the future. Let's start planning. Let's start winning. I'm with that. Sorry, I don't know why I said planning. Arsenal would never sign Bailey. He's got too much spice in him. I don't think Leon Bailey's the guy, but he's a yard man, so bring him in it. Bring him. Bias settings. If Arsenal board don't pounce on this Tel opportunity, DG, the fans will spin the block. I really like Tell. Matoma would solve so many problems at the club. All the Martinelli loyalists should be wanting Matoma to come in. Another one that, you know what time it is with Brighton. And it seems like we only put the P, rightly or wrongly, we're only going to put them mad P's down when we're 100% convinced. Whether it worked or not, enough people were convinced to spend 65 million on Kai Havertz. Enough people were convinced to spend 100 million or 105, I think it is, on Declan Rice. 50, it's not the same, but 50 million for Benjamin White. And I only mentioned that because we bought him, and it's worked out, of course, off one Premier League season. So we have to see. Napoli are a terrible team to sell. Means you're doing all right then, isn't it? I always said if a manager hates an agent, I think it means the agent's doing the thing. Okay, calm. I'm not a social media guy, but Ball sign up. I think me will sign up. Tell would be a good signing, but I'm not confident he'll be the main man. Maybe in the future, but I ain't seeing him to that guy. Isaac or Gyökeres would still be needed in the summer. 1,000,000%. Sesko because of age. No, getting back with an ex is crazy. Have some dignity, gentlemen. You have to respect yourself, man. That's crazy. I mean, you never know that everyone's situation is different, but me, nah. Would you take Tavernier over Nepan? I don't know that guy, so I'm gonna say Nepan. Oh, are you talking about the one that was at Middlesbrough and his brother plays for Rangers or something? Nah. Would you take Kubo? I'll take a lot of players at this moment in time, but I don't. It's not that I don't rate him. It's like I'm not convinced you're a level raiser or a difference maker, if that makes sense. Now, Ben White's done his thing. I'm not criticizing Ben. There's longevity. We know he's good. I'm just saying you had to pay for the guy, innit? You had to pay the going rate. And I'm all for Arsenal being coy, being clever, having principles, because I think in isolation, these things are good. But to a slight degree, I think sometimes you have to adapt to the market. And 50 million don't really go that much anymore. How about a friend's ex? Not my brethren. You're going mad. Not my... No. That's crazy. That's scumbag, man. Have some morals, man. Have some morals. There's 1,000 gal in the world and you want to chat to that one. Have some morals. If it's not my guy like that, like if you're not my killie, like if I just literally know you and I don't know you, like we see, like I might be walking down the road and it's that, then shit, I'd expect you to do it to me. Like shit. Do you think Neto will be in goal tonight? I think Raya's going to play, but especially because it's Spain as well. I'm sure Raya wants to play, but there's not going to be too many opportunities for Neto to actually put on the shirt on a match day capacity. If we are paying a guy that has never scored 20 goals for 100 grand, we also need to put Saka and the other in a higher fee. Saka and that, they're going to get their P's, man. Unpopular opinion, but we should jump on Nkunku or Felix. When you're hungry, anything put on a plate looks good. I'm not necessarily against Nkunku or Felix. I wonder which, but I want us to go for Tell. I wonder which one I'd prefer, though. If you offered me Nkunku before what I'm seeing at Chelsea, which is hardly anything and bare injuries, I might say him. But then again, João Felix ain't really done nothing. Like, because I'm leaning towards João Felix. And I'm thinking, what would you solve? Yeah, you could play on the left, you can play as a 10, you can play through the middle, but as dumb as it sounds, beyond you just being a good footballer, like you're not really solving anything. We got 186 likes. Can we get to 300, folks? He doesn't deserve high wage. To be fair, no one's putting a gun to the club's heads to put these guys on these deals, you know. And I'm not saying you, but I always find the wage talk silly, mad as well, because some of you are doing a shit job in your 9-to-5s, and you know you are, and you're still getting your P's, and I hope that continues. People deluded. Who is an alternative to Isaac? Give me a young player no one is focusing on. It's a bit techie, man, and I'm not 100% convinced to be shouting to sign this guy. I forgot his name, man. There's a lad at Strasbourg. I can find his name for you. Where is he? Shit, how do you spell Strasbourg? Strasbourg FC. Can't believe I'm doing research. Smash the like button. You see the extra work I go through for you lot. Where is it? He's got like short hair, man. He's having a good season statistically. Where are you? There you are. Emmanuel Eminga, 21. If I would put him as a risk, if that makes sense. Like if I had to take a risk on someone, Strasbourg are in bed with Chelsea, innit? And Chelsea ain't tried to buy him, so he might not be the truth. And then you've got the Lorient guy. Again, this one's kind of raw as well, but if we was again gambling, let me find his name. That's probably one of the only things stopping me. I can't pronounce Donny's names. This one as well. Ellie Junior Crumpy. He's only 18 though. I know people don't, even though Matthias tells 19, he's significantly more experienced. I know people don't want to hear it. People are gonna hear 18 say, oh no money, we don't need any more kids, man. Don't need any more kids, even though all of you lot would take care out. But yeah, I've posted their names, so yeah. If I had to take a risk, Rashford would cook at Arsenal. Cook what? Because he's gonna burn anything. Like, Rashford couldn't even cook toast at this moment in time. That's him. I mean, Clivert. You know what, Clivert? I never used to rate you, but what you're doing at Bournemouth, maybe it's because the whole team is looking mad. But I'm very close to offering you an apology. We need new American owners and British owners. They always tarnish English clubs a lot these days. They need an Arab owner like City. We know why the Arab owners are frowned upon, or in Roman Abramovich's case, we know why these men are frowned upon, people. Because nobody does the foreign thing when it's around the Americans. At least well, I can't say Todd Burley don't care about Chelsea because he's putting his peas in. Whether it's working or not's another thing. But at least the Saudi dons, they're proper going to buy it, or the foreign dons, because even I'm sure Nottingham Forest Nottingham Forest fans, they've got not a bad thing to say about their owners. And I'm getting jealous for no reason of being jealous. But whenever I watch Nottingham Forest, every now and again, they'll pan to the tunnel at half time or at the end of the game. The owner's there, like you can see the passion is there. These men come, FFG for Liverpool and Kroenke where Arsenal are, they don't love football. They're businessmen. They don't, even people that love football, they don't love it. But there's no element of, they don't love football. Like, of course, there's a lot of people that get into ball and that, but they don't love it like that. That's why there are other sports, and I don't think you can just blame them, as I said, but that's why you're seeing their other sports doing what they're doing. Like, Arsenal's the only one that ain't done nothing. So, yeah, man. That's crazy. But I must admit, it's the 29th of Jan, though, man. Like, Arsenal, I don't know anything, actually. I hope you're trying to make things happen in the market, man. But it's getting a bit nerve-wracking. We need that oil money. Imagine having the oil money with some common sense. And what I mean by that is, we want Isaac. They're saying 120, 150 mil. And I'm dreaming here. Go on, then. Agent Saliba from Deep 14 is waiting for Tell. We ain't getting no one noteworthy. Rashford is good than Martinelli. That's good. But we're already vexed about Martinelli. Why would we want him and Rashford? Like, sell him somewhere else, mate. Well, technically, toast gets cooked. You put in a toaster, mate. People not wanting young players is a madness, if you ask me. What are you saying on the score for tonight, Kings of London? Big up yourself, Josh. 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. I think it'd be a closer game than need be. DG Duran is worth the money. He don't even start for Villa, but look at how he delivers every time he plays. He's going to score more goals if he plays regularly. I do believe that. But then you could flip that and say, when you're starting games and we're seeing a longer body of work, are you going to do that? And again, whether Duran might not be doing anything wrong. The way I want to play Watkins in it. But you have, maybe as a naive fan, you have to ask the question, why have you only got 4 Premier League starts? Like, why have you only got 4 Premier League starts? Why are you not playing ahead of Ollie Watkins? There's clearly something there, because being linked is easy. But if if Arsenal are looking at you, if Chelsea are looking at you, Saudi are thinking there's an opportunity there to spend P's, PSG are still onto you, you've got to have something about you. Arsenal defo need a feeder club. Bro, any winger at this moment. Listen, the market ends on the 3rd of February, which would be next Monday, people. So the day after the City game. Let's have hope. To say I'm nervous is an understatement. I watched Girona on the weekend. They're awful, nothing like last year. Let's pump them then, innit? All right, you gassed me. 4-1. Rashford better than Nelly? Nah, maybe a couple of seasons ago, but now I would take Nelly over Rashford. Listen, let them just talk. Let them talk, man. DG predicts the first team tonight. Defense is where I think the changes could happen. Because he could do something booky, like just put Calafiori right back. Or Lewis Skelly, we know they're left footers. It'd be nice to not see Timber play, but you know what I would say? Then you can make a case for Neto. That's a good question. Timber right back. Saliba and Kivio. Calafiori, just because I think we'll be looking for Lewis Skelly at the weekend. Midfield, Moreno. I think Moreno will play. Moreno, Jorginho, Odegaard. I would prefer for Rice to start, but yeah, I think that. On the right, Raheem Sterling. On the Kai probably starts. On the right, Raheem Sterling. On the right, Raheem Sterling. On the left, Martinelli. And you know what? Even though I think Kai is going to start, I'm going to say Trossard through the middle, you know. Visa. For the squad, I'm on that. Jimenez is a baller, top striker, reminds me of Costa. I just don't think he's the one I want, man. Right wing is dead, bro. Ethan as well. But then I'm starting to deep it. Where you look at Ethan, you know, Ethan, Lewis Skelly, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, there's Gabriel and Saliba. There's a case for them to start today. But if there was a chance with a depleted squad to be a bit cute and clever and change going into the City game, it'd be that. Paul, if Nelly can't do anything, Nelly can't do anything. But like, whatever you say, bro. You lot in the chat are better than me. Like, I always tell you, like, I don't tell you, like, what to think. Just think if that's what a man thinks. But hey, these you end up recalling Nelson. Villa brought Duran for 14 mil from the MLS. Now they want 80. Madness, bro. You can't go wrong making a profit, man. You really in this life can't go wrong making a profit, man. And big them up on that, really and truly. Can we get to 200 likes? We've got 199 people. 199, man. 199. The target was 100. Played the 18s this game. I would love to see Nathan get a start, Sego Jr. play, Cabba start. There's every logic behind that because we're basically through. But yeah, we should give Zinni a little farewell. Even that, yeah, you know what? Could you make a case of Zinni left back? Zinni left back, Calafiori centre half with Saliba. There's more chopping and changing to do with our defense. Like in an ideal world, Rice, Calafiori, Lewis Skelly, Gabriel, Saliba. I think I said Rice. With what we're facing, Kai Havertz, I would like you lot to play minimal minutes. It's one where I don't know, man. And do you start now? Even Ethan, I want to start Ethan, but I'm thinking, yo, you're a legit Ethan. For me, you need to start against City, innit? So I'm thinking about it. But then again, Lewis Skelly and Ethan, you're young lads. You must can play 2 games in a week. And Timber has to find rest as well. I'm happy I'm not Arteta. Play Nichols if it comes to it. I hear it. No, Nichols ain't ready, man. Big him up, man. Big him up, but you're not ready. Get Tierney. Even forgot about Tierney's a shout. You know what? Run Tierney left wing, man, for the Bants and the culture. Why not, man? But yeah, man, it's a techie one. It really is a techie one. DJ, I already checked out. I'm just waiting for Mikel Dictator to hit us with we couldn't find a player that suits our squad. I don't want to hear that at the thingy, man. I'd start the young G on the wing. I hear it. I don't want it. I've got time for you. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear any of that. Somehow it's gone from 199 likes to 220. You lot are ridiculous, man. Appreciative to that. But I'm sure you lot are bored of hearing my voice now. And admittedly, people, my belly, I don't know if the mic picked it up, but it's rumbling. So yeah, from the super chats to the mods doing their jobs, to your opinions, to your banner, to your differences of opinions. One love for tuning in, people. Again, we kick off at 8 p.m. So I'm going to be live at 7, people. So yeah, I'll catch you lot in a bit, man. Safe. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're new here. Pay your rent.
You always just have to run like